If you have been feeling confused about your content creation, your plan for 2024, well, today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 ways to improve your content creation so that you get better results in 2024. So, if this sounds like a topic you are interested in, do consider sticking around perhaps. But if you are new to me, welcome to my channel. My name is Janine. I'm a live video strategist, the founder of Boss It Live, known in the digital streets as Video for Bosses, helping service providers, coaches, and content creators generate more leads and sales for their business by creating high converting live stream content with confidence. I'm back on these live streams. I wonder if anyone's gonna come and see me. Are you gonna come up and see me sometimes and say, I hope you're gonna come back. I hope you're gonna come and see me live. And if you don't, I hope you do come back via the replay. Anyway, before I continue chomping on, selling myself on the dreams, I hope I don't sell myself on the dreams, so I don't sell you down the river. Let me just check on the old sound quality. Is it coming through like Sonic Boom? Yes, I am sounding crisp to resistance. I still need a new microphone, but we're going to rock it out with the old faithful Rode lapel microphone. So how are you? How have you been? I hope you have been well. I'm so sorry. I wasn't actually here last week. I had to take a stop, drop and roll moment. Just have some time, some time out to just reconfigurate, because let me tell you, before we get into today's content, because we're a community, we're a family, it was a really, really difficult time. I think you guys that were turning up each week, Kashini, Susan, some others that were coming, whether you were here live or you were on the replay, you heard me week after week saying that I was just on the, and those of you that are coming in and you're watching like, oh, what's she talking about? Don't worry, I'm going to add this as chapters, right? So you can skip ahead, right? But I do have to talk to you. This is my therapy, Tuesday therapy. But if you know, you will remember that I was saying to yourselves that it was just really, really challenging for me health-wise, but I was pushing through. Every week I said I was pushing through, and I was. I should have taken a break, but I didn't. And then my body forced me to take a break. So I'm still kind of getting over a little thing. I don't want to claim nothing. Still getting over a little bit of a thing. And also just kind of getting myself back on track. I've been talking a lot, sharing a bit more in my stories on Instagram, the Boss It Live account. And I've been sharing a little bit of what was happening, what has been happening, what has been the journey. And I'm going to continue sharing there. I also said in my community tab that I'll probably start sharing a bit more with yourselves here, the YouTube community, because I know you're very separate to everything else. But I really do want to be transparent about my journey, where I've been, how I've been feeling, and some of the changes that I'm actually going to be making. I should have probably done Vlogmas, really, shouldn't I? So I could have vlogged through it. But you guys, you know, live streams are a little bit different. I know there are those that don't care about live streams, won't care about this, but I'm gonna just talk and share with you guys. But I'm so sorry I wasn't here last week, because I know that will negatively impact the lives and the content for a little while. I've not been as frequent with the content, but I am back on track. And I'm looking forward to all the wonderful things that we're going to be doing together in 2024. And I hope that you'll share with me, give feedback, ideas of things that you would like to see me share on the Video for Bosses channel that relates to the core value proposition of the channel, which is live stream, camera confidence, tutorials and how-tos relating to the various different social media channels. So hope that you'll continue to enjoy the content. I really, really do. So today, speaking of the operative word that I mentioned, that is content, we're talking today of the 5 ways to improve content creation to get better results in 2024. So I'm probably going to do a couple of these episodes, essentially, because we are in the 4th quarter of 2023. I don't know how we got here, but here we are. But we already are in the 4th quarter, the last month of the 4th quarter of 2023. And so 2024 is right upon us. And with that being said, we really do need to be prepped for the new year, Q1, and starting to fix our minds forward, not the immediate. And part of that is really kind of taking real stock of your content and really being organized so that you are going into the new year confidently and with clarity. You know, clarity is a big thing for people. The clients that I've worked with, when they come to me, there's a whole load of lack of clarity around their messaging, their content, etc. And that's one of the things that I really do work intentionally with my clients to make sure that they really are clear about what it is they're doing. Because if you're not clear, how can you have a success pathway for yourself, the end goal that you have that's for yourself, as well as the end goal for those whom you are talking to and that you're trying to attract to your products and services if you are a business owner like myself. Hello and welcome to those of you that are jumping in the live. Do say hello. So I figured this would be a good conversation to have with yourselves. It's something that I'm actually doing on TikTok. I'm actually doing a series over there called TikTok Live and Marketing Tips. And we're talking through all of the things around your resounding message, making sure that you understand your ideal client, who it is that you're talking to, and making sure that your messaging is 100% proof, and just the mindset that is needed, because these social media platforms, if you're not careful, will really make you question who you are to your very core and your soul, right? There's a lot of talk on talk, a lot of talk on talk around that if you're stuck at this number of views, and psychologically that's just a mind mess for a lot of people who are in that space and may think that they're in the 200 view cycle and think they're doing pretty well, or those that are in the 200s but they're satisfied, they're talking, or the people that are like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me. It just sets a whole kind of, anyway, the point that I'm making is that I'm doing this whole series around preparation for going into the new year with your content. And so I wanted to talk to yourselves about that today. So like I said, I will add this into chapters so you can actually skip around, but I'm hoping that this is going to be really, really useful for you. And also I'll be sharing with you the content planning masterclass that I've got that is happening next month. You can't say next month. Next year. I was going to say next month, but it's the next month, next year, in January. So I will share all the information. I didn't add the descriptions or links at all as yet, but I will make sure that I do that at the end of this live stream. So you guys know I love to give you a visual. Confused about your content? Are you in that space where you're not like, oh, what am I doing? Because I did ask this question on TikTok, and I said on my live earlier, are you prepped? Are you ready? Or do you feel like you're kind of fumbling your way into the new year? And a lot of people were like, the picture that I've just showed you, a bit like, oh, I don't really know. So we're gonna wrap that up. We're gonna change that today. So you guys know I'll give you a question of the day as well, but do let me know when you come into the live stream where you are watching from. So I want to just share with you a few of these tips. And yeah, I hope that you find this useful, and yeah, just let me know your thoughts on it. So when we're talking about ways to improve your content creation to get better results, it goes back to what I said initially, or I mentioned a moment ago, is that having that clear, resounding message that you don't stray away from. And I think that as people are getting onto these social platforms and they're looking at the whole things around growth, it's like, yeah, well, maybe I should do this, I'll do this trend or do that. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with trying different things. You should test it, but as long as what you're doing doesn't undermine your resounding message, that it complements, that it still says what it does on the tin, right? That when your ideal client or your ideal audience come to you, the people that are searching for you, they don't question whether or not you're able to help them if you're the person that they're seeking. You don't want people to be really confused about what it is that you have to offer. So it's really important that no matter how you present the brand, however you present your content, that your resounding message is just. I hope that this is making sense. Let me know, guys. Those of you that watch, because some of you are watching very silently, you're not saying anything, but just let me know what your thoughts are, and if you have any questions. That's something that I do want to remind you, that if you have any questions throughout today's live stream, whether you are watching live or you come back on the replay, please make sure that you post your comments, your questions in the comments, and I will come back and I will make sure that I answer your questions. So let's talk about improvement of our content creation, right? Because we really want to get very clear about that. So the first thing that I want to speak to you about is learning strategies for optimizing your content. So most of you will know in any case that search engine optimization is a big thing. We're on YouTube, so we know that you've got to make sure that your videos are optimized. But if you're looking at platforms like TikTok, just using that as an example, because I was speaking about, TikTok is very much focused on ranking your content and categorizing your content. And so most of them are doing it, but in a very overt way, because TikTok is primarily looking at becoming more of a search engine. So there's very much a clear focus on the fact that you need to make sure that your content is optimized so that it is discoverable, so that the person that represents 1 million, 10,000 people is able to find your content. And, you know, if you are looking at just using TikTok as an example, that your content, if you are optimizing it, you will see that your content goes into certain categories. So it's really important to learn, as I've said, strategies for optimizing your content, no matter what the platform is, right? Because every single platform has a way to do that. Now, those that are inside my membership, I've done a whole training on Facebook fundamentals. A lot of people think, oh, just post your video or your reel or your long form video or your live stream, and that's it. But there's a whole back end in the metaverse, right? In the Meta Business Suite for optimization of your video content, for adding tags, descriptions, hashtags, using search terms, keywords, all of these things that you can do in the back end of even YouTube or Facebook. So it's really important that whatever platform that you are targeting on, that you are learning the strategies. And I know that you will say, well, that's obvious, but the amount of people that it's not obvious to, or the amount of people who are just like, oh yeah, just post that, and then they're not doing it, wondering why their content may be underperforming. This is the reason why. Making sure that the words that you say, the things that you put on your screen, in your captions, all of these things are marrying up. And we know that there's a lot of talk around, well, hashtags, particularly on the likes of Instagram, don't matter so much anymore, but you still want to make sure that you are covering all areas, that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's. I hope that that is making sense. Let's move on to the next point. The next one is learning tips and trends for effective use of the platform. So this essentially is social media marketing. So making sure that you are fully up to speed in terms of your social media marketing, the actual different platforms, because whilst there are similarities, the platforms all primarily and functionally, they are different, right? And culturally, they're different as well. So how you would create content, again, using example, let's just talk about the short form platforms with the exception of YouTube Shorts, right? Let's just use Meta, Instagram, and use TikTok, right? You know, I want you to really understand that culturally, the two platforms, even though their focus is short form content, TikToks and Reels, they're still very different. How you create content on TikTok is not how you would create content. Even though you could take the piece of content that you have, the video file, you have to make sure that it's presented in a different way for it to perform the best it possibly can, right? You have to make sure that you do. Oh, hello, Katrini. How are you? Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad that you're here. Kashini says, welcome to the chat. Oh, bless you. Thank you so much for being here, Kashini. Honestly, I don't have the sound effects today on this live stream, but thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy to see a friendly face after not being here last week. And Kashini was with me on the live for those of you that are watching yesterday. No problem. You are not late. You are on time. I'm just happy that you're here. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Kashini was there earlier on when I was talking about, you know, making sure that you're optimizing for your platform. So essentially what I'm saying is that get really, really clear and very intentional with learning all that you can about the specific platform that you are focusing on, because every single one of us should have a primary platform. It doesn't mean that you don't need to be present on other places, but where is your ideal client? Where do you want to pitch your fork in 2024? Where do you want to build your personal brand? Where do you want to be seen as the thought leader within your space? You know, have that place that you are. Oh, you love the sound. You love the sound effects. I love them as well. They're so much fun, right? So I haven't got that open today. I'm on StreamYard. So it's really important that you're taking the time to do that and look at the different platforms that really cater to helping you to really learn all that you need to know about the different platforms. There's so much available to you, right? One of my favorites is Stacked Marketer Pro. Absolutely amazing. Get the email in my inbox, right? Love Stacked Marketer Pro. There's so many things that you can do, right? So you should make sure that you're really kind of getting intentional with your social media marketing. Like I said, so you're learning all that you can. When I'm talking about tips and trends for effective use of the platforms, I'm not talking about trending audio or trending content, right? Let me just be clear about that. That's not what I actually mean. But what I'm saying is that every platform has a specific culture. Every platform has things that work well, right? And then there's shifts, like these social media platforms are the shifting sand, but there are shifts, right? So if we're thinking about looking at Instagram, there's been a shift. It's, yes, we're still using reels, but we know that that's changing. There's been this shift back and forward between carousels. There are things that were added into the platform that have been removed, like IGTV, like guides. These things have been removed. But you'll notice that there are different shifts in the way that people are showing up in, for example, carousels. So carousels used to be very heavily education focused. They're not so much anymore. They're more conversational style. I don't know if any of you have noticed that. And you're hearing a lot of the Instagram experts talking about the shifts around how content is being presented in this new season in Instagram marketing, right? So it's really important that you take the time if you want to improve on your content and your content creation to get better results. These are some of the things that I want you to consider. Moving on to the next point is that you want to develop a plan for creating and posting content. So we hear this all the time about having a content creation plan. There are various gurus and experts that offer you templates. I have something as well that offers you to help you with your content creation process. But the truth of the matter is that if you're thinking about consistency and being able to show up and managing all the different moving parts of life that go alongside content marketing, as your marketer on these platforms. So you have to make sure that you have things in place so you know what you're going to do, how you're going to show up, where you're going to show up, and in what format. And a lot of the time, if you're a live streamer like myself and some other people as well, you use amazing tools. What's coming, Kashini? If you're using tools like a StreamYard, I can't toot the horn for StreamYard as well as I did before. I've got an issue with my throat. But anyway, I digress. The point that I'm actually making is that if you're thinking about your content strategy and you're putting your content marketing into a plan and so that you can go forward and be consistently showing up, you will be looking at implementing tools, for example, like StreamYard. So StreamYard allows us to go live, MultiStream, you know that, right? I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But in addition to that, you can take these pieces of content and you can restream them, schedule them to go out. You can take pieces of content, you can create shorts from those pieces of content. And I know that if we're doing lives and, for example, we're interviewing, you have to kind of do a little bit of editing and CapCut or whatever. But yes, the trumpet, I know, but I'm on the struggle bus, because you're on the struggle bus. But the point is that there's tools that will help you to optimize the content creation process, the content that you're creating. It will help you to do that, right? So this is why having a plan in place and really being intentional with taking time to execute a strategic content planning strategy, that's going to help you to get better results, especially if you're somebody who is on multiple platforms, right? If you're trying to, you might say you're multi-passionate and you like being in lots of different places, then this is really something that's important. Now, before I go on to the next point, I'm going to dab in with the question of the day. So what's your best tip for content creation? Because every single one of you that hear under the sound of my voice, right? You're a content creator. So what is your tip? What is your go-to for creating content? Are you somebody who says, I time block and then I batch record or I batch create content? Are you that type of person? I'm going to just hold my hand up and say, I'm not that person. When I hear experts saying, I time blocked a day and I recorded 60 reels, right? Or 60 TikTok videos. I'm like, huh? Even if I had the capacity physically to do it, I don't want to do it because that would just mess with my brain. I'm just really just like, that is no bueno for me. But, that might be your thing. What is it that you actually do? Kashini says, I really have to, I don't know why it's not letting me, it's hovering over your comments. I really have to work on consistency. I haven't been consistent after being back after the long break I took. Thank you for the reminder. Well, thank you. And for even being honest and being transparent. And I think we have to have these more transparent conversations. Like, I love Kashini. Like, Kashini has shared that she took a long break. And as a result of taking a long break, it's been more challenging to get back into the consistent flow. And listen, that happens to the best of us, right? You take a break and then it's really hard to rev the engine again. So just case in point, giving myself as an example, right? How many of you were, so no batch recording for you. I can't stand batch recording. Like I do my content creation in broken down bite-sized digestible chunks. I can't do all of that. I cannot. But just going back to your point, Kashini, and for those of you that may have found, been on a similar encounter whereby you've struggled, you fell off the wagon, you've struggled to get back on. That happened to me after the 100 days of going live. Like, to this day, right, as my nose is itching me, I don't know how I actually was able to do that for 100 I did not, even Christmas Day, guys, I did not miss a day. I came live on YouTube from the beginning. I think it was the 18th of October, 2021. I think I finished sometime towards the end of January, and I was live every single day, and I was live and intentionally live as well. I wasn't just coming up, hey guys, I'm just talking, hey guys. No, I had my content. Kashini did ask me this question before. Did I plan out the 100 days ahead of time? Absolutely not. Like, if you're doing 100 days of content, you can plan ahead to a point. But more or not, I knew what my core pillars were going to be. I knew what I was going to be talking about. However, it pretty much was me creating the content, getting it day by day. But I would get my video slides, my thumbnail, optimize my video every single day for 100 days. And I'm telling you, I did not think I would crash and burn the way that I did after, but I did. I tried to make it. I did a live, I think, the following week. And then I think for most of 2022, last year, I've only gotten back on track with my YouTube channel this year. But it was really hard for me last year because I burnt myself out, right? I just burnt myself out. So, you have to just kind of just give yourself grace, guys. But if you are actually strategically planning your content and adding some of these things to the mix that I'm sharing with you, and this, as I said, this is just an opening discussion. There's going to be more of this. It's going to help you to really ramp up your content creation process. So let's move on to the next point. By the way, just a reminder, guys, if you have any questions, right, please feel free to drop your questions into the comments below. No question is silly. I am here for you, and I am back here live every single Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 7 p.m. UK time. Just took a break last week. If you're ever wondering about me and my schedule, go to my community tab. I'm going to be posting in there a lot more regularly, so you'll see all of the things that are going on with me, and I'll be sharing with you full transparency of where I am. But yes, I'm here every single Tuesday, and I will start uploading some more video tutorials again. That should be coming hopefully this week, but next week. I think next week for the tutorials, and I'll be uploading some shorts and some other content in between that. I love that. Kashini says, high five, fist bump to you, Janine. Oh, bless you. Oh, I took it off the screen for showing up for 100 days. It's not easy, and you slayed. I'm sure Nick would agree with that. Absolutely. And I'll do a high five and fist bump. Nick, we're not stealing your thing, Nick. We know, we love you, Nick Cannon. No, Nick Cannon. What was I talking about? Nick Cannon. Oh my gosh, I'm making it even worse. Nick Nimin. Let me get off the point. But yes, no, thank you, Kashini. It was a baptism of fire. Hello, Karita, born with a gift. Thank you so much for jumping in. Thank you for showing support. I just want to give a shout out to Karita here. Born with a gift. There she is. Born with a gift right there. Definitely go and check out Karita channel, Born with a Gift. That is her podcast. Absolutely amazing. I was a guest on her podcast, And it's just amazing. And she's so wonderful. Karita's a wonderful, supportive, beautiful soul. And thank you so much for your support, Karita. Thank you for reaching out to me yesterday with your lovely message. I so appreciate it. And I'm so glad that you are here. Sheenie's laughing at me as well. Hi, Carla. I didn't know you were here. Carla makes me laugh. Carla, bless you. I'm glad to see you are here, Carla. I'm having some issues in the back end of StreamYard. StreamYard is I don't know, when I click onto your questions, hold on a minute, let me try something. When I click onto your, see, it's taking it off. When I click onto your questions or your comments, I can't see it in the back end. It kind of blocks it out. So I have to look at it on the screen. So now it looks like I'm not looking at you. Thank you for your question, Carla. Carla has said, should you live stream across different platforms since they all have their different cultures? That is a great question. Absolutely. So here's the thing, right? They definitely have their different cultures. So for the likes of Instagram and TikTok, right? So you have to go live in vertical format. Now, for that, right now, at the time of this recording, correct me if I'm wrong, you can't use software like StreamYard to multi-stream to those platforms, all right? You can't do that at all. So it would mean you would have to, if you wanted to stream at the same time, you'd have to use two devices, and it's just not a good idea. Multi-streaming, I've talked about this. But going back to the whole point of, because they have different cultures, should you multi-stream? Now, here's what I would suggest. The platforms that have a similar culture, absolutely 100%, and your message is quite, it's not dissimilar, right? It's quite, it's relevant to those platforms is what I'm saying. Bear with me, right? I'm still getting me ski was sketching up, right? So that it is relevant to those platforms, then absolutely 100%. So I would say when I do my live streams, I 100% will multi-stream to, for example, Facebook and LinkedIn. Why? Because it's a similar audience, similar culture. Does that make sense? However, when it comes to YouTube Live, I only stream, I do not multi-stream for YouTube. So when I'm here, guys, I'm not multi-stream, I'm nowhere else. Why? Because the structure of my lives are a bit different. And also I want to make sure that my lives are very much in keeping with the culture of YouTube. I've gotten a bit more flexible, right? I'm a bit more chatty now than I used to be. If you guys remember, Carla, you'll remember. Kashini, you'll remember. All of you will remember. I'm coming to your comment, Karita. I've seen it. You will all remember that when I did the 100 days, I stuck to 20 minutes. And it was very much introduction, the 5 points. If I took some questions, I took a few, and then I was out. I wanted to make sure that my content reflected as close as possible, even though it was a live stream. I wanted to make sure that it was as close as possible to mimicking video on demand for the culture of YouTube. And I knew that if I have added another destination, that I wouldn't have been able to do that. So essentially, I hope what I'm saying is making sense, Carla, to your question. If you are multi-streaming, absolutely. I would say when it's relevant and there's no conflict to the platforms, then absolutely 100%. If it's the platform's a little bit different, then I would say don't do it. So it depends as well. It's entirely up to you, but that's my advice on that. And I hope that makes sense. And it was a really, really good question. Let me know if you need any clarification on that, Carla, and if that was helpful. And thank you so much for your question. I appreciate it. And yes, definitely you need to, I'll link it in this video as we mentioned it. I definitely 100% will link that interview that I did with Karita, Born with a Gift. It was absolutely amazing. And my comments are acting up in the background. Karita says, Born with a Gift, said, I watched the 100 days live, such commitment, dedication. Thank you. And this is the thing that I want to say, right? Let me just say, Karita even said this on I think it was on our interview, that Karita is somebody who is a silent watcher. Now, Karita's saying that she watched the 100 days of live streams. I didn't know that. I don't know if you actually let yourself be known, Karita. But that doesn't matter. The point is that sometimes we can get so dejected because we think, oh, no one's watching, no one cares about what I have to say. It's not working. And somebody is always watching, right? So be encouraged, guys. Be encouraged. Kashini says, I notice most of the time multi-streaming on YouTube together with FB. Yeah, people do that. Yes, absolutely, 100%. There are a load of people that don't. Now, I would say myself personally that you might say that YouTube is not dissimilar to the likes of Facebook. But I think also what I do want to say is that when these platforms or when these creators, and we'll just use some people as an example, we'll say Loria Petrucci, I think she multi-streams. You've got Melanie, Diane Howe that multi-streams, but I think what they do, and Adrian Salisbury, there are a number of people that do multi-stream from YouTube to Facebook because they are multi-streaming to their business pages or they're multi-streaming to their Facebook groups as well. So within their Facebook groups and community, that's a specific lead generated specific audience, and business pages as well. That makes sense because there's different audiences if they want to run ads and all that sort of thing. But most of the time, you'll probably notice that those who stream on YouTube, if they're streaming to Facebook, they don't do it to their personal pages. Have any of you noticed that? Not to their personal pages, not their personal accounts, but they'll stream to their business pages or to their groups, so not their personal accounts, because it doesn't marry up, if that makes sense. I'm not sure what's going on with these comments. I can't see them at all, but I want to get on with the point. So if any of you, a reminder again, if you have a question, please feel free to ask in the comments below. No question is silly. Carla asked an amazing question. We thank you for that. Before I get on to the final points, what I want to say to you all is that I'm running a content planning masterclass on the 8th of January, 2024. And this is all about helping you to map out your plan for growth and success in 2024. And I'm really excited about bringing this masterclass to yourselves because it's really going to help with your content planning and implementation. So if you are ready to nail your niche with a clear content roadmap for 2024 to help you drive more leads and sales, then this is going to be for you. And I just want to share with you before I go on to the final point, and thank you so much to those of you that are here, that in the actual class, it's going to be broken up into 3 parts. So part 1 is going to be all about the key steps to building relationships on social media. And there are 3 parts within that in part 1. And then part 2 is going to be key steps to building your content strategy. There are going to be 5 parts in that section. And then there's going to be part 3, the key steps to understanding the customer journey, which is an actual walkthrough. So I'm really excited about this class. And the class is going to be, depending on what you decide to go for, whether you want to just attend the class, there is a lower tier option. And then there's the attend the class, get the replay, workbook plus a content planning tracker for you. So I definitely 100% want to encourage you. I'll link everything in the description below for those of you that will be interested in joining me in January for the content planning masterclass. So the next point I want to make is that you want to learn how to review your analytics and understand the data when it comes to improving your content creation for 2024 so that you're getting better results. And again, this goes hand in hand with what we talked about in terms of optimization. It's really, really key that you understand what is working from what is not working. And if you are a YouTuber or you follow some of the YouTube greats, you will know this is a big thing on YouTube, right? Understanding the data, because that will help you to clearly see what is working, what is not, to give you a clear indication of what you need to do to keep replicating what works so that you get success, or how to improve upon the results from the last thing that you created, because you know what it was that actually triggered drop-offs, or the message wasn't resonating, they weren't responding to the content. So take the time, whatever platform it is that you're focusing on in 2024, take that time to really understand the platform, understand your metrics, go into the back end consistently and analyze and look at your data. If you do that, you absolutely 100% are going to get better results. Hello, Hobbyman 1923. How are you? It's good to see you. Thank you so much for popping into my live again. You were here 2 weeks ago, I think it was, when I was last live. Was it time before? I think you were here because you had a birthday, right? Thank you so much for being here and joining the live. Guys, don't forget to give this a thumbs up. Please, that really is helpful. If you feel that this content is beneficial, please do share this as well. And if you do remember at the end of the live stream, once I've ended it, to come back and drop a comment to let me know what your biggest takeaway was from this. I really, really would appreciate you sharing what your biggest takeaway is from today's session. I know some of you are jumping in a little bit later. not to worry, you can watch this on the replay, but definitely drop a comment for me to let me know if you have been here, what your biggest takeaway has been. And again, any questions that you have, no questions silly, please feel free to ask them. So Kashini has said, stats are not my fave, but I realize this is something I need to do to improve my content. I'm going to just be 100% transparent as well. I'm pretty good with insights everywhere else. I'm still really learning YouTube. How many of you who's figured it out all completely? And I don't know. I don't know if there are any creators. Like, I don't know if Nick, Nimin, or anybody else. I'm looking for somebody who does like step by step the strategy, but really understanding. Because I mean, I go to Nick's lives on a Saturday. I can't go every single week, and I know when he talks about some of the insight side of things, but obviously because it's on his live and he's answering lots of questions, there isn't a real deep dive into it. But I really would love the deep dive of it, so I can really, I mean, I get it and I understand it, but you know, when it's all the graphs and I'm like, girl, the way my brain works, I'm just like, it's not for me. Karita says, born with a gift, if you cannot track it, then you cannot change it. Data is key. And I'm clapping for it, Karita. I'm actually clapping for it. Yes, yes, yes. Hobbyman1923 said, just to know I can get on here and how about your channel and learn. Oh, bless you. Oh, God bless you. Do you know what? I have to say, I really do appreciate every single one of you. You know, I appreciate it because it's your time and you've sat here with me. Thank you so much for supporting the growth of my channel. My channel is growing, by the way, slowly, slowly, slowly. I keep getting new subscribers and I'm just so grateful. Every time I'm seeing, I'm like, oh my gosh. And I didn't post last week. I was so scared that people are going to unsubscribe. And I've seen the trickle. So thank you so much. It means so much to me that you guys are here. You've been on YouTube about 8-9 years. I still don't always understand. Listen, the struggle is real. It really is real. Nate is really good. Love how he gathers data to prove his. Which one is Nate again? What's the name of his channel? Please let me know. Kashini, if you can DM it to me as well, that would be good. Or if you put it in here, then I can just screenshot it. Thank you so much. I love you right back. Honestly, thank you so much for being here. Listen, I'm just going to transparency moment. The way I was feeling last week, guys, only by the grace of God, my aunt would say, right? But just you guys, thank you. And Karita, like I said, you sent me a lovely message. And Kashini, you showed up on TikTok. I was so happy to see you. I was sitting here for a little while. I was thinking, oh, no one's going to show up today. Maybe no one knew that I was coming live. So I just was rolling through thinking, oh, well, you'll catch it on the replay. And then Kashini, you showed up again. And I'm just really grateful. So I don't want to go on too much about it, but thank you so much for being here, guys. Honestly, I really do appreciate you. So today the question is, are you confused about your content? We have been talking about the 5 ways to improve your content creation to get better results in 2024. And I hope that the 5 things that I shared with you today were helpful. And as I said, you know, do share your content creation process, share it in the comments, your best tip, because that may inspire somebody else who comes along and watches this content. They're like, oh, okay, I really like what Karita, born with a gift, said. Oh, Kashini, I like that tip. You know, and those of you that drop it. So thank you so much. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Janine, for showing up and for what you do. So thank you. So guys, I'm going to jump off there. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I will be back again next week, same time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. UK time. Back to the tutorials next week. I will post a video this week because we've got the Creator Confession series that Karita was a guest for. We've got one more episode next week, but I've got a backlog of episodes to edit. So I probably will put one up. And of course, the content is all relevant to what we're talking about. So definitely do check those videos out. But I'll be live next week, Thursday, and then back on the tutorials next week as well, because I've got a lot to share with you, lots of discussions as well. So guys, thank you so much for being here. Be sure to click on the video that pops up. Whatever that video is, I don't know yet because it's not shown on the screen yet on this live. But this video, do check it out. And I will see you all back here next week. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Lots of love. God bless.